Hey there, I'm Stephanie from SixFiguresUnder.com. If you want to stop wasting produce and throwing away food and money every month, then you're going to want to stay tuned. Every month I start out the month with a big grocery shopping trip where I get pretty much everything that our family of 7 is going to need for the month. I do a couple of smaller trips later in the month, but essentially everything that we'll need for the month I get in one big trip to a couple different stores. I always get the question, how do you make your produce last through the month? And so that's what I'm going to share with you today. Let me show you what I mean. Here are a couple of pictures of what our last couple of months, what our grocery haul has looked like the last couple of months. When I posted some of these images on social media, everyone was asking, how in the world are you going to eat all those bananas before they go bad? I want to tell you all about the 6 rules that I follow that keep us from wasting food. First rule, eat fresh first. When I'm planning my meals, I plan to use what's fresh first. At the beginning of the month, I'll be using fresh tomatoes. Then at the end of the month, when I'm out of fresh tomatoes, I will use tomatoes that I've already canned to make tomato sauce, to make spaghetti sauce, to make soups. For our dinner sides, for our veggies, at the beginning of the month we'll eat a lot of salad. Then at the end of the month, when we're out of salad, we'll eat frozen vegetables like broccoli and peas. So eat fresh first. Rule number 2, start with what will go bad first. Some fruits and vegetables are just created sturdier than others. For example, at the beginning of the month I bought 2 16-ounce packages of this baby spring mix, baby lettuce medley, 3 boxes of the baby spinach, the organic baby spinach, and a green cabbage and a red cabbage. So we're going to eat the lettuce first. Lettuce gets wilty faster and it's not as sturdy and robust as spinach. So we're going to start with this. Sometimes we'll mix some spinach in there to bulk up that salad a little bit more, but we'll finish off all of that and then we'll have spinach salads for a week or 2 with using those last 3 containers of spinach. And then by the end of the month those will be all gone and we'll use our cabbages. A green cabbage like this will be good in the refrigerator for a couple of months. And this is my first time buying a red cabbage, but in my experience eating it, they're even more robust than the green ones. So they will last a long time. I'm not worried about them. We'll save them till the end of the month. So eat the things that are going to go bad first. Okay, the third way that we're going to keep our fruits and veggies from going bad is to have them be our default snack. Seems like every time I show one of our grocery haul pictures, people always zero in on the bananas, that we get, 8 bunches of bananas at the beginning of the month, and they say, how in the world are you going to eat that many bananas? Now with a family of 7, 6 of whom are not babies, if 6 of us eat a banana every day for a week, that's 42 bananas. That's a lot of bananas. When our kids whine that they're hungry for a snack, we send them toward the bananas or the apples or the oranges or the celery or the carrots, and that's what they eat. And for those of you who are thinking, my kids don't like fruits and vegetables, let me just assure you that this did not come naturally. This came through training. You are looking at the girl who didn't start liking salad till she was in her 20s and still can't eat raw carrots. If you want your kids to eat fruits and veggies for snacks, keep that on hand and don't get the other stuff. Eventually they'll get hungry enough that they'll eat it. And you know what? They might start to like it. It worked for us. The 4th way that we prevent wasting produce is to prep ahead. We do this a lot for soups, and I have a whole video on that I'll link up above. But I cut up celery and carrots and onions and garlic, how I would have them in my soups, and I put them in a Ziploc bag, put them all together, put them in a Ziploc bag so that they're fast and easy to just throw in a pot, with some chicken broth or water and bouillon or tomato puree and make a soup. But it's so handy to have them already chopped. That's what takes a long time when you're making real food from scratch, is all the cutting. Having your ingredients prepped ahead of time is so convenient. It saves time and money and sanity. I know that I won't eat raw bell peppers, so I dice mine all up really small and use them in omelets and eggs and other recipes throughout the month. You can also cut up veggies for snacks. Cut up celery, cut up carrots, and keep them in a Tupperware with water. Fill the Tupperware up with celery and carrot sticks, and then put water on top, and that will keep them from getting flimsy and dried out. For kids or grown-ups who are intimidated by eating whole fruit, cut fruit up, put it in a fruit salad, put it in a Tupperware in the fridge. That is a lot less intimidating and a lot easier to eat for some people, like me. As long as there's something acidic in it like orange or pineapple, that'll prevent your apples from browning. Tip number 5, store it right. Besides bananas, potatoes, onions, some winter squash, we store as much as possible in the refrigerator. Now we do have a second refrigerator, so that gives us a lot more space to work with, but keeping things in the refrigerator really does make a big difference. For example, last month I bought 4 5-pound boxes of cuties, you know, the little clementines, and they were a really great price because they were kind of at the end of their life. We got rid of all the bad ones and put the rest in the fridge. And I would just take one box out at a time and then set it on the counter and we'd eat those. Well, we got to the 3rd box and they were out on the counter for a little while and they started getting soft, and I thought, oh great, we've still got the 4th box in there. It must be all terrible. But I got the 4th one right out of the fridge and they were perfect. Don't underestimate the power of keeping it in the fridge. Pretty much everything will stay good longer in the fridge. One thing that you should know is don't leave fruit or veggies in the bag. They'll go bad faster if you leave them in the bag. So what I like to do with tomatoes, for example, I take them out and I put them in one of the cutie boxes that we have. I just line them all up so that they're all one layer, all in one layer, and then I can stack multiple boxes. These boxes are built to stack without smashing what's in there. So I use these for tomatoes. I also keep some in my cupboard, in my pantry, with onions, because then I can stack those. Bananas you don't want to store in the fridge. You definitely don't want to keep them in the bag. If they came in a bag, definitely take them out of the bag. Hanging is better for keeping them from getting bruised, but we buy way too many to hang them all. So another tip with bananas, you want to keep them away from other ripening fruit like apples. They'll cause each other to ripen faster. And tip number 6 is to have a plan B. If eating fresh doesn't work out, there are a lot of other things you can do with your produce so that it doesn't go to waste. We eat as many strawberries as we can while they're fresh, but when they start to go bad, we just wash them, hull them, take out the green part, and freeze them. You can either freeze them whole to use in smoothies, or I like to slice them up. You can see that. Slice them up, then they're great for sauce for ice cream or to go on pancakes. You can use them in smoothies too. Strawberries freeze great. Pineapple, if you saw my last grocery haul, you saw that we got 8 pineapples for a great price, and when we don't eat them all fresh, we freeze them. Pineapple freezes great. It's perfect in smoothies or even just as a frozen treat. Spinach. When your spinach starts to get bruised, when the creases start to show and it's not looking as happy as fresh spinach does, take it and put it in a freezer bag, a Ziploc freezer bag, and put it in the freezer. It's great to throw in smoothies. Your kids won't even know that there's spinach in there. It hides in there nicely, doesn't leave a taste or anything. It's a great way to sneak in some extra nutrients for your kids. Same with kale. If you have kale that's not as fresh as you'd like it, or you're afraid you're not going to be able to use it, just close up the package, put it in the freezer, and then put a handful in your smoothie. Bananas. As you can see, these bananas are past their prime. When they start to get spotty like this, it's a great time to use them in baking, in banana bread, banana muffins. It's also a great time to freeze them. If you don't have time to bake right now, you can peel the bananas, put them in a Ziploc bag in the freezer, and then make banana bread when you have time. You can also use bananas in smoothies, in pretend ice cream, you know, where you put frozen bananas in the blender and add chocolate or peanut butter or different things. You can Google that. You can actually freeze bananas in the peel and just peel them later when you're ready to use them, but it's kind of slimy. It doesn't take that long to just open up the peels, put them in a freezer bag. I kind of break them up into, you know, just with my hand in the bag. Just break them up into 2 or 3 pieces so that they're easier to manage. You can freeze them on a tray so that they don't stick together, but I'm too lazy for that. I just put them in and then break them apart when I need them. You can freeze citrus. If you use lemons, limes in recipes, you can cut this into pieces, freeze it. It thaws really quickly and you can squeeze it into whatever you need. You can also throw lemon wedges into smoothies with the rind and all. If you don't want the rind, of course, you can peel them and then freeze them without the rind. Same goes for oranges or mandarins. You can peel them, break them into pieces, freeze them, and then put those into smoothies. Apples freeze too. When my kids don't eat all of their apple slices from their lunch and they bring them home and they're brown and sad looking, I just stick them in the sandwich bag leave them in the sandwich bag that they're in, stick them in the freezer, and then the next time we have a smoothie, I just throw those in and it turns out perfect. Nobody knows that they were ugly looking apples. Can you tell we love smoothies around here? Even tomatoes can be frozen if you're going to use them in a puree or a sauce. I have a whole blog post that tells all about how I make my tomato puree and freeze the tomatoes. That way, when I get tomatoes out of my garden, I don't have to keep canning and keep making the puree or the sauce every time I bring in a batch of tomatoes. I can bring in a batch of tomatoes, wash them, hull them, stick them in the freezer, and then when I have the whole season's worth of tomatoes, or, you know, halfway through or whenever, a whole big batch, I can do a big batch of canning tomatoes at once and not have to keep getting the equipment out and go through all that every time. The key here is that in most cases, it's better to take action on plan B before the produce goes bad. So as you're looking in the fridge every day, just kind of take note of how your produce is doing, and when it looks like it's about to go bad, that's when you need to take action with your plan B, whether that's freezing, eating, putting in a soup, putting in a smoothie, baking, whatever you're going to do with that produce, do it then before it goes bad. So just be vigilant. Earlier this year when asparagus was on sale, I bought a lot of it and we ate as much as we could while it was still fresh, and once it started to not look as fresh anymore, I cut it up. I don't know if you can see this. I cut it up in a bunch of small chunks and just froze it. I didn't blanch it or anything, just froze it, and then I just throw this into soups. Okay, now sometimes life is going to happen, you're going to get busy, you're not going to notice that things are going to go bad, and they'll go bad, and that's okay. If you bought something but didn't have a plan for it, just do better, and next time make a plan of what you're going to use that for, put it on your menu. Now I want to hear from you. What are the fruits and veggies that you have going bad most often? And I also want to hear, what are your best tips for not wasting your produce? Subscribe to my channel for more frugal inspiration and financial motivation. Until next time! Now I better get my produce back in the fridge and freezer before it goes bad.